Earlier in life, to include prenatal, someone might be getting some more exposure, puts them at risk. The characteristics of the drug itself, right? How quickly it gets taken up into the system, right? Fast is definitely going to lead to bigger rewards, a lot more compulsivity. How about genetics? Mental illness, of course, is a huge risk factor. Prenatal exposure. So psychosocial is over here, neurobiological is over there. Psychosocial does seem to be the bigger player in this, but they definitely all come forward into a symphony of risk. I just made that up, symphony of risk. Thank you. So, reward, and I just got rewarded there and reinforced. Thank you. That's why I can't stop doing this. So there's a lot of neurotransmitters involved, but dopamine is the centerpiece, right? Everything is about dopamine, and dopamine has its biggest action when it comes to addictions in the nucleus accumbens. Nucleus accumbens is where fun lives, right? Some people would say it's Busch Gardens. I'm going to say it is the nucleus accumbens, and it is dopamine that is the fuel that makes the fun. So everything else is important, true, but that is always going to be the centerpiece. It kind of unifies all the various chemicals. The ones we're interested in today is stimulants, opioids, alcohol. We say nicotine, not going to really talk about it that much because that's kind of its own presentation. And then THC. So dopamine, and it isn't just how much, but how fast. I love this graph because this really shows you that the self-reported high, how good you feel, is really well correlated with how hard and fast that dopamine peaked in your system. So something that comes on slow, not really that rewarding. Something that comes on hard and fast, phasic, right? Whap! That is what can really lead to a huge sense of a reward. If you want to think about it in terms of human life, there are many things that we do that lead to a reward. You win a big prize, you've been training for a race, and you cross the finish line, you get a big boost of dopamine. Well, think of something more basic. I'm sure that someone in the room, right, is child and developmental, and they know about the mastery smile. Does everybody know about the mastery smile? Right? Anyone? No? I'm sorry. The mastery smile. That wonderful look that a little child, a toddler, gets on their face when they got it. And that's how a parent knows that they learned something. So they've been working on these two blocks for like a week and just can't seem to get one to stand up on top of the other. They just won't do it. And you work and you work and you work, and finally you're like, today's the day I'm going to get that block to stay on top of the other block. And it's touchy for a while, but then you get it, and it stays, and that little toddler looks at their parent and they get, I did it. That's the peak right there. You just saw that. So the way that drugs hurt you is that they ring that bell maybe many times as hard as the awesomeness of the first time you ever got one block on top of another and gave your parents that mastery smile. And now, when you think of it that way, that's why eating now, you sure you don't have any more Coke? You know, suddenly nothing is as awesome as the drug because it kind of wiped out all the other wonderfulness that your reward system gives you when you're doing a good job.